on TV.
Oh, really? Hi, everyone. Leanne and I are here for our weekly potluck chat. Just
Hey,
haven't,
Ron.
well, what have we labelled it? It's not actually showing up here in our stream at the moment.
Intuitive chat.
That's it, Tuesday's Intuitive Chat with Leanne and Roz. And I've got the old agenda up. There has been a few issues with the Be Live broadcast creation, and from yesterday, I couldn't do it last night. Something's working because I have a comment already showing up in the stream, and
Yep.
Leanne's going to have a quick look, see whether it's actually showing up in the My Time live TV.live.
It is in My Time TV.
So that's good. Yeah. So somewhere with the link that I've put on my own profile probably isn't quite right. I'm not sure. And I haven't got time to actually muck around with that now because we're live, which is what we're doing here, being live. So, one of the things that we do, because it is intuitive, is we sort of pick a topic, sort of, that comes just as we get on air, really. And this morning I felt that probably change is the big one for me as a topic right now, purely because I'm actually living through a huge change that's gone on in my life. And as I woke up this morning, I realised that I think it's actually the year now since Dad died. He passed on a year ago in August, whether it was the 7th or 8th. At the time, I didn't actually write it down in my diary, so I can't find the exact date. I know when the funeral was, that celebration of his life. That was on the 14th. But it certainly, for me, it created a huge change in my life because I then came to live with Mum and care for her full time as a carer. So I'd just done the move pretty much a few months earlier, around about the April last year, of needing a change. And I rented at Birdwood, rented a house there, totally jumping feet first off the cuff, knowing there was a risk probably of having things change because of Dad's and Mum's health and their ageing. But I did it anyway. So, it was a change I decided and made. It was huge because I'd never lived in the hills before. And the added bonus was, though, that it was a bit closer to where I was working at Body, Mind, Spirit, Wellbeing at the time as well. So there was a lot of reasons why, wasn't there, Leanne?
And that's it. And I think you were where you were meant to be at that time.
Exactly. And that's what I felt at the time too. So I still went ahead and did that, the whole move, costing dollars for the removalist van thing, because I was moving my whole house into another house and renting out where I was, because that's my home, at Port Elliot, and loving the change. And then the other change once Dad passed on, and doing it all again, but this time everything's in storage, and it still is. So that was a huge change, doing full-time care for a parent. And then it was only just a few months ago that Mum passed on. So there's still more change that's happening for me, and getting things sorted after all of that. And it's not a complete uncertainty of where I may be, but it's still things in progress, and process take time. And with that, you certainly have some little worries, although you trust universe and spirit for what you have around you, that it is, like Leanne said, it's perfect time. It is perfect timing. I was where I was meant to be in those times. I'm where I'm meant to be right now. And it's just really the perspective and the way that you handle change that's the important thing, because it's all part of our journey, isn't it, Leanne?
It is. Yeah, our journey set out for us. We may vary a little bit at times, but, we get there.
Yeah, we certainly do. So, yeah. And change is change. Every day we have some form of change happening, because we're not the same as we were the yesterday. What occurred from yesterday, creating a bit more of us into our future, what we need for that future too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
exactly. It's all a journey.
So with
so
any of the
we never stop learning.
Yep.
And
always I find that there seems to be that base behind our journey that is our foundation, and because it is so close to, like, when Dad died and looking after Mum and the rest, you do realise how much of a foundation that your parents have been in your life, and that grounding in who we are, in how we've been brought up, and the environment we've been in during that. I came off a farm. Well, pretty much it was. We're brought up on farm in each location we've been. One back at Minleton and Menangi here. So between Menangi and Canalpin. Great fun. Loved riding around on the motorbikes and learn how to drive the hack ute, and, picking up lambs for tailing, getting stock in and out, and milking and feeding calves, all that stuff.
A whole different life.
Growing it on from there. Yeah. So, on Hi Lincoln, okay, Lucy, that I've got just a few of there's still comments starting yet.
Cool. Yeah,
because I'm not sure where the live is placed. It definitely is mytimetv.live. Where else it is? I think I shared the right event to my businesses. I didn't.
It's not on your page, and it wasn't on mine. So I've just hit the share button. Actually, while I've got this page open, while you were talking, I was just doing it in the background. I'll share it to your business page too, because I've just shared the actual broadcast from My Time TV to my page, and I'll just do the same rather than go, because I obviously can't from this end. I can't get the link for them to look at. So I'll just share it to a friend's timeline.
And I disappear again if I do that, don't I?
You do.
We're still really learning. I mean, that's where some of this change is happening as well. Facebook has changed something, or BeLive has something in there has changed as well. And I still haven't learnt the 1, 2, 3s of how to do all the processes yet.
Yeah,
which makes it fun.
Do it together next time. You just got to miss one step, and you sort of you don't get those connections to the different pages. Oh, come on. Yeah. My computer's running slow because we're live.
Oh yeah.
So I'm waiting for the button to push. So
so anyone that is coming online here now already, with there is some questions. Looking at that, because Lincoln wants to ask a question. Now I've got to hide that one, and this is the next one. Hang on, where's the Lincoln one? There it is. So I lost my train of thought. With the changes, I need to change how I'm actually doing this is another first step too. Actually changing the process, because I'm a Virgo. I like having the checklist, the 1, 2, 3, and tick them off as you go. I'm probably doing that backwards.
And I just leave it to the last minute, and then off we go.
Well, yeah, that's what I had to do this morning, and I still couldn't quite find what those steps were. If anyone that's coming in on the comments right now, if you could share as well, put that out there, since I've obviously goofed it up again, just to get it out there. If you think it's the type of show that your friends would like to watch, certainly do that. Thank you.
And all they got to do is hit the share button and, invite people, sort of thing. So that's quite easy to do with that side of it. I can't see you on my page, Roz, only simply because I'm on a Facebook page. So what I'll do is I'll keep an eye on the comments from your page and mine, because if somebody comments on those posts, we're not going to see them unless they've come over to My Time TV page.
Okay. Yeah.
I did put that instructions there. So I'll keep an eye on those comments from there. with that side of it as well. But yeah, but back to, did you have a question?
I'm just thinking I'll just try and get it up on my phone so I can see as well what others there might be. Although you just said that you were going to do the back of that side, didn't you?
I'm flicking between the two pages.
I really needed to have had my other computer set up here, I think. Look, just a reminder too, seeing the question that I have put up there to share from Lincoln, will my life get better? The questions that you ask of either of us, just try to make them more specific with the more yes, no answers required, because it does then mean that others can get theirs answered in between a lot more. There'll be a bit more that's going to be able to be answered that way. Is that right, Leanne? I'm still learning in doing this process.
And that's it, because it's not so bad at the moment because we don't have a lot of people watching it at once and asking questions. There is a couple there of what I can see. But, that way we get to more people. That's usually the way I do it, sort of thing. Let's try to keep it more specific instead of with the questions. But did you want to answer Lincoln's question, hon?
I'm just feeling there still seems to be some uncertainty there. I'm seeing a colour green, whatever that means for you, whether you're more into the outdoorsy, like being outdoors more often. That seems to be the reflection I'm getting as far as connecting with grounding yourself and connecting nature, that type of thing, and there will be a bit more easing of what feels unsettled. I can't see specifically. I mean, it's with what's around you, how you're gauging what is better for you in your life as well. It's sometimes is just that slight shift in a perception of what's around, and actually accepting, where you're at is fine, because it's part of what your growth is as well. So in that just slight shift, I do feel your life is going to get better. I am seeing trees and roads, and it feels like more on the road, travelling. Feels more like a ute farmy aspect area. So whether it's Australia or travelling around Australia is something that you might be heading toward. What is there anything that you're picking up as well, Leanne?
Yeah, I do feel
this really well.
I do feel change is coming, but just not yet. And so to me, the feeling is a little bit later in the year, you will see positive change come in that way. And I just get the reference to you've got to let go of the structure and go with the flow. Okay. So Lincoln, when you can let go of that sort of structure, and I want to say get out of your own head as well, because I do feel that you're very much in your own head and thinking a lot at the moment at the same time. So you put a lot of pressure on yourself too, is the reference I get. So when you can sort of find that balance in that side of things, you'll find that things will improve in that way. But keep that clear, positive mindset and know what you're working towards, because that will help you to manifest that side of it as well. Okay. So I wish you all the best with that, Lincoln. So beautiful.
And I just noticed this one from Jess. I can't answer that. It wasn't me.
Oh, okay. Jess.
Was it you this morning on Nova?
Yes, it was Jess. It was. Nova have a segment. It must be every Tuesday morning, because it seems to be a pattern when I need to drive my daughter to school rather than the bus, because she misses the bus sort of thing. And I got home just in time. I walked to my door. I thought, their number comes to head. I'm going to ring up and I'm going to say something. So they talk about spooky stuff, ghost stories and all that. So I actually got on and I rang up about a subject or instance that I had in my office here one day a while back, waiting for a customer or a client. She wouldn't listen to what spirit was trying to tell her, because she sort of wanted to hear what she wanted to hear. and the whole cupboard behind me, the doors flung open, the back fell out of it, and everything just went flying out of it. So Spirit was getting very frustrated. One of the few things that I've had the physical happen like that when I'm doing a reading. They play with my music and different stuff, but yeah, it was funny.
I have a question around that. I mean, I don't listen to radio and watch much TV. So actually, what is Nova?
Nova is an Adelaide channel. I'm pretty sure it's an Adelaide channel sort of thing. So it's one of the radio stations of Adelaide. So like your SAFM and all that, Triple M and different ones. So it's just a different frequency radio station. In the morning, it's talkback, this sort of thing.
Right.
They have a breakfast crew on there.
Yeah.
It's just what the channel was on the radio.
Yeah, I'm just not that familiar with radio. So, well, there's another thing that, you know, Spirit really does give us the right prompts at the right time. So,
exactly. I don't normally ring the radio station because I've got too many things going on, but something this morning was pushing me too.
Yeah,
so.
And you sometimes have to wait a fairly long time.
I just said I'm a psychic, and they got me on really quick.
Yeah,
I guess it was a subject.
Yeah, I've just put up the comment from Lincoln as far as his loss said at the moment, and people wanting to hurt me. So that's a bit of a response of what you actually answered before, like what we answered before anyway. So
so with Lincoln, with that, mate, I would protect your energy and sort of thing. So with that, when I say to my students to protect your energy, so ground yourself, breathe, but also like I teach my students when they start beginners mediumship to see themselves in a bubble or a shield of some sort. So when people push their negative or their what I call crap onto you, it will hit your boundaries, your protection, and you won't take it on in the physical side of it. So you won't allow them to have the results on you or the effect on you that they would normally have. So it's amazing what we can do with the power of the mind and energy and sort of things. So I would highly recommend to protect yourself. See yourself having the upper hand as well. So you're helping the universe to manifest that at the same time. There's a few things you can do, different tools you can use to help with that. If you give your power away to them, they're going to keep pulling on it and sort of thing. So it's taking back that stand, taking a stand and taking that power back at the same time. So, okay. Hopefully that helps you.
I hope so. It's really good seeing the questions building up. It's a little bit a learning process still for me to find them at the right spot and the rest. So this was the next one that I was led to. I feel it was a yes that was sitting there for me for you there, Kelly. So I'm not sure whether it's a 7 that's coming up as far as a timeline. I don't normally get the timelines that well, so but there's that I'm seeing, and I think 2 is just there seems to be the word authentic, being more yourself and not trying to please others, and that's where your centre should be for being you first, and the relationship will attract to you.
Yeah. So in the way of 7 was, how do you get drawn to that? Like, are you feeling it's a month or a date, or there's?
It's just something that I'm seeing in a. I mean, you know, the different ways that we actually get our information. It's just something I'm seeing it. It seems like the peripheral. There's a 7 there. It feels more like a month. But and that's where sometimes for me, we're all still learning. We never stop learning what we do as far as our skills and the rest goes. And that's the fine tuning. It feels more like a month to me. So whether it's 7 months away or the 7th month, as I'm sort of feeling around that, it actually feels like I'm getting the message back that it's the 7th month. So probably by July next year, there could be something certainly developed for you. But being in your own space, being authentic to you, and actually there's probably some issues there in how, of course, saying it sounds rough, but it's how you handle people is what I'm getting. Needing some fine tuning, I suppose, and just understanding more of what there is around relationships and the way that we do sometimes need to compromise, but you still got to stand in being your authentic self and not putting out a falsehood. Well, what you think other people want to see, it's not the thing to be doing. It's just being yourself and discovering that.
Yeah, and sometimes we've got to do the work on ourselves before we can have that right relationship as well. And Kelly, I get you got absolutely beautiful energy, hun, but I also feel that you're protecting yourself as well. So that you may find that you've got the walls up around your heart that will come either through past hurt or fear sort of thing as well. So if you can let those down, allow that inner light to shine through for others to see. And I'm not saying that you do, Kelly, but sometimes we've got to find that love in ourselves before we can allow other people to love us as well, sort of thing. So that may help some others listening in at a different time, sort of thing, to, find that peace within yourselves, be comfortable, no matter how you look, you feel that side of it, because it's letting go of all the judgment. Sort of thing, because we are good at judging ourselves and putting that pressure on ourselves, sort of thing. So that can make a big difference as well. All the best with that, Kelly.
Thanks. And I only just realised as I was talking, I still had you up there as a solo. So it really is a learning process.
You should be able to leave us both up there at the same time, Roz.
Yeah, I can. I just forgot. Yeah, I'd just forgotten to put it back when I had put it to a solo. Yeah, so there you go. It's still learning. And I did have one that was picked out there as far as Jess goes, because she'd asked about if you were on Nova this morning, so good pick. Yeah, just wondering if she could have an issue.
Yes, honey, I get 2 more children around you, and I feel like I've got 2 little girls with that. And so I do feel strongly there is 2 more children for you.
That's great. Just noticing I've got a fair feed. The lineup, the scroll line's getting a lot bigger.
It looks like we've got 19 people.
Oh, right. So
yeah,
I don't see that anywhere. So that's what you actually see on the actual Facebook page.
It's now just gone 21. Now I'm on the BeLive site now.
BeLive site, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you should have 21, 4 and 30 as numbers.
So where does that show up? I really do.
Above your comments.
Above the comments.
Yeah, go above where it says end a broadcast.
No, it's not showing.
You might need to scroll down then.
That's weird. No, it's not showing on mine at all. Right. So this is the difference.
Later.
Yeah, this is the difference that we find when we actually start doing these lives. BeLive is a wonderful platform. It is fairly easy to actually work, isn't it, Leanne?
Yeah, it is.
Like setting up usually, I think it is more to do with that linking between Facebook and BeLive at the moment. Now I've lost my place. There's another one that would be a fairly quick one.
It's my granddad, John Arami, does he leave signs? Yes and yes, honey. I feel both yes with that. I get your grandfather was a very strong energy, a very strong personality, but with a big heart. And I get his hand on his heart, which is my sign for love and pride for yourself as well with that. Now, as in the way of signs, I get the reference to he moves things around the house. So you may find the lights will flicker at times. You may find that you can just hear movement outside of the general movement of the home. But yes, I do feel he's very much around you. For some reason, I feel like at times you get the scent of him, like you can smell whether it's his aftershave or whatnot. But I do get that waft of scent or that smell change at times with him. Okay.
Mm. Yeah, they can be very strong, those signs, can't they?
They can be in spirits to try to get your attention, like the cupboard exploding.
Yeah. Just one of the questions as far as those types of messages that we get and the symbols we might receive, do you feel there is any specific number of times that spirit tries to get our attention before it's really a whammy, or it's just until we take notice?
It's more about taking notice, and I guess it depends on their personality. I know sometimes I can get spirit get quite frustrated quite quickly, and other times they can be quite patient to a certain time. So yeah, it does sort of, I find with my experiences, it does sort of vary a little bit with that as well. But mind you, with the lady I was running for, they've been trying to get her attention and get her to listen for months now.
Yes. Yeah.
So I can understand why it went off in such a big way, because I was getting frustrated knowing that she's not listening. She's,
yeah.
And that's the thing with, and I guess it's probably a good thing to touch on as well. With readings, I always say to my clients, come in with an open mind and an open heart. Because if you come into a reading and you have set in your mind what you want to hear, it's not always what spirit wants to tell you, okay? And you can walk away from that reading feeling disappointed because they haven't told you what you wanted to. But in the background, you're missing the important stuff, all right? So it's important to have a reading, or if you're going to invest in having a reading, to come in with an open mind and take away the most that you can. And that's why I like for my clients to record their reading, because they will go away and listen to it, whether it's that day, the next week, 6 months down the track. They may find things that they didn't hear in that reading because it didn't either resonate with them right then at that time, or that wasn't important to them at that time. Something else really resonated with them. So it is important to open your mind and take what they say and allow it to, play out.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, exactly. And for what you are eating at that point in time is relevant for that point in time too.
Yeah,
most direct is directed the right word? Like you said, I mean, your mind is more wanting to hear something you want to hear, so it's going to be biased that way. When that openness really is what you need to be receiving. It's what's relevant for you at that point in time. I like the idea of having them recorded too, because later there's always more in it for that next step that could have been.
That's it.
It is hidden at that time.
Yeah. Like I've worked and mentored some other mediums in the past, and they refused to record it because they're worried it's going to come back on them. But when you trust in your gift and what you're giving, you trust and you truly surrender, Spirit's going to give you what they need to give you. And, like I said, if it doesn't resonate today, I'll tell you a quick story, Ros, if we've got time. We've got a little bit of time. I did a reading for a lady, probably 5-6 years ago, 8 years ago. It wasn't long after I started actually putting myself out to the public and opening up to the public in that sense. And I sat there and Spirit kept wanting to acknowledge, and now I'm not big on names, but I kept hearing Phoebe very strongly and very clearly. 45 minutes of the reading, I kept saying Phoebe, and the lady kept going, no, don't know who Phoebe is. I brought her ex-partner through, her ex-husband, that she had 2 children with. He had remarried and had another child with another woman. And it was funny because he wouldn't let me let go of it. He was very persistent with it. And she kept going, no. We finished the reading. She walked off. She was quite happy with that. Got in a car, drove down the road, and I could see her pull over. Next minute, my phone rang. She goes, I know who Phoebe is. It was his daughter with the second wife. Now, a father is going to acknowledge his children. He had acknowledged all 3, counting Phoebe. But he was going to be persistent, but she didn't want to hear about it because she was focused on her family and her time with him, not his life in general, sort of thing. Yeah. So it's amazing how Spirit will keep pushing in that way.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And the having the recording can help verify some of those facts as well too, because I know for me, because sometimes there's other things in my mind at the time I'd go for a reading, you don't remember everything.
Yeah.
And it's a memory prompt, and then that's happened now.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah,
it's confirmation and that
and
verification.
For me, that's it. And for me as a reader, and I guess with practice and sort of learning how I work, now as something like that comes up and I go, no, I have learned to say, I need to give you this information and leave it with you. So Spirit will allow me to move on, sort of thing, rather than getting stuck on it. So,
and sometimes we don't have the exact interpretation in the context of what might be in who you're reading as well. And, they'll pick up, oh, that actually meant that. But it's not far from what we read, but it just wasn't quite, on that target, but it's still on the board, if you get what I mean. Yeah.
Exactly.
So,
and it all comes with practice.
Yeah. And part of the change, as I was mentioning to you earlier, was I felt I needed to bring the deck of cards up. And this next one from Danny, that's where I thought, oh, yeah, I need to actually pick a card out for that. So I picked it out before I'd read the question. And this was one of the things I was trying to sort out as well to start with. And this is the Psychic Tarot deck. And it's hard. You know how you get the opposites and trying to find which way to face things? So it's actually victory and success. So that's what that card is. It's victory and success. So I figure that for that question, what do you see for me in the future, or in my future? Will I find a job I love? I think you probably will be finding the job you love. It's creating the trumpets. I mean, that's what the picture is about. It's trumpets, blowing your horn. It's enjoying, that fanfare and all that's involved in that. So I think I'm getting the sense, yes, you'll have a job that you'll really love.
Beautiful.
So
I get the head on to that, so I agree.
So that was just a quick answer for that one. And the cards, it's the moment of time. It has answered your question. So enjoy that process of getting into a new job that you love. This one, I know that I've heard this many times before as far as the 1111. It is the 2 power numbers, angel time. There's many interpretations for the 1111s.
So, and with what I sort of pick up on 1111, it's a spiritual number. 11 is a master number when you look at the numerology sort of side of it as well, and you don't normally break master numbers down any further. But 1111, with what I quite often read and being shown by Spirit, is just them showing you that Spirit's around. When you get the 4s, it's about the angels and different things like that as well. If anybody is interested in going more into that, I know Doreen Virtue has a really good app that you can download. I think it's about $6, $7, $8 maybe on your phone, and you can look up the numbers and their meanings that way as well. But yeah, when they keep sort of showing itself, I have days where I'll get 11:11 at AM and PM sort of thing. My husband goes, oh, here we go again.
Yes, I've had those too, and just been able to catch it with the photo on the iPhone and share it. And it is. Yeah. It's funny how good a feeling you get. Well, I do when I see the 11:11 on the clocks, or in any place. Just notice this one. It's a little long, so it's going over our faces. An 8-month-old granddaughter passed 2 weeks ago, so a daughter-in-law's watching. Hi to you both. Sorry for the loss. It's as I try to think.
Okay, all right.
Connection to ease of mind.
Okay. First of all, I'm not sure why Spirit's drawing me to this. I need to say it's nothing that you did, honey. So to me, it's the feeling that you are holding on to blame yourself. It doesn't matter what you had have done or had have done anything differently. That was your daughter's and granddaughter's journey with that side of it. My heart goes out to you, and I feel the emotion that comes through with that side of it as well. So please know that she's very much at peace. I do feel her passing was very quickly, and I do feel that she was put here on this earth plane to teach you. So I want to say, look at what she brought into your life in that very short period of time. because I do feel that your daughter has touched the hearts of many, sort of thing. So I want to say those around her, she made a big impact on with as well. I keep closing my eyes and I keep seeing her beautiful smile. So I want to say acknowledging her smile, and I don't know if that's something either mum or grandma is closing her eyes and seeing that smile constantly with that. Okay, I feel like she was an angel. I want to say the way that she came to you and the way that she left is a very angelic energy, sort of thing. So I'm going to say, looking up at the sky at night, I get that very angel sort of beautiful wings wrapping around you sort of side of it. I want to say she was an old soul too, very much an old soul with that side of it. Okay, so my heart goes out very much to the family with that. I want to say, just when you so I feel the frustration around it all at the same time. But I do feel I get the reference to when you can still your mind and allow the emotions to move a little bit rather than bottling them up. But close your mind and just take a deep breath and be in the moment. You will feel her energy around you. She's a strong little thing. Okay. All right. So I wish you all the very best, and I send lots and lots of love and healing and big hugs. Okay.
Yeah. That TV show, was it called Touched by an Angel?
Yeah.
As you're talking as you're sharing that, that's what came to my mind, was that show. We are all touched by angels in different ways, and so nods to that one too.
Yeah. And it's so hard being a mum, and you can't help not feel for their loss and being such a young person. But it's that journey thing again. It keeps coming up.
It does. Yeah. And here's another journey for as a question, Lisa, asking about her son, his ex-fiance. I'm not reuniting and what the money situation is. So I'm not picking up anything that I felt I needed to actually hand that one to you.
All right. Definitely. Fiance reunite. Unfortunately, I get no with that, and I wanted, as much as I would have liked to see that, because I think she was good for your son. I do get no with that. Money situation is saying yes. Okay, I want to say you've had a lot go on in a short period of time, and I get the reference to the stress, the pressure around that side of it as well. But I do feel that it's important to focus on what it is you need to be comfortable and see it coming in, rather than focusing on the lack of or what you don't have with that side of it. It's temporary measures is the reference I get. So this is only temporary for the money situation. Okay. And now is a really good time universal wise to be manifesting that stuff. So if you can focus on the positives rather than the negatives in whatever the situations are, you'll see change come pretty quickly with that. Okay.
Just picked up too for Lisa, as far as sometimes I know as a mother you can be very concerned for your kids and the rest and want to help them out, but there are times where you've just got to let them deal with their own stuff as well. So that's what I just picked that up. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Lisa, for your question.
Thank you. On my clock here, it's a little bit early. I've got it running fast.
You're at 11:11. Looked up to see that. I got 10:11. 11:10.
Yeah, well, the computer says that it's 11:10 still. So just printing. Everybody, just watch and wait for your clocks. Have your 11:11 and feel good.
I usually get the 4:44 or the 5:55.
Yeah. I had the 18:18 on because I think I've got my phone is actually set for the 24-hour one, and it is nice seeing the double numbers because that's down to the 99, and 9's part of my birth numbers and all the rest. So you definitely get the messages at times as our reminders like that. So yeah. Whoops, I'm a bit slow on picking up some of these messages. Yeah, change is always something that can be very interesting to manage and handle, can't it? So here's one that is, I just looked down, and there's one. Starting up a business, anything for me? Well, there's a lot. Jasia, very nice name, Jasia Violet. There's a lot around starting up with business in what you need to be able to manage, and putting it out there as far as letting people know what you're doing and all the rest. Just be diligent in some of those little details is what I'm actually picking up with that. I'm not seeing what your business actually is, but I am getting with the marketing and that type of thing, getting your message out there that's not salesy pushy. Yeah, are you picking anything else up on that one, Leanne? Because
I get focus on the paperwork. I want to put a lot of paperwork in front of her at the moment. I actually feel like I want to say go back and do the business plan if you haven't already done it, or reassess the business plan, because I feel that it's gone in a little bit of a different direction to what she started with in that sense. So the idea is flowing a little bit different with that. I do feel it's a good time to start with the business, and I just try to do things a little bit differently than others as well, because it's that feeling I want to be doing things a little bit more out of the norm sort of thing with that side of it. I get you good at manifesting what you want, so I do feel that you will have that positive outcome with it. But I also get you need to be prepared to put in the hard work to start with. So I want to say put in the hard work to start with, get that basis, that foundation built, but then it's about working smarter, not harder. Okay, so I want to say put those processes in place, the rest will follow. Okay, so all the best with that.
And putting focus on one. I'm seeing the one thing at a time till something's finished, and then the next step and the next step as well. So
try not to build too many bridges at once, so to speak.
Confusion reigns when that happens. From experience, I know that.
I love the way Spirit gives that reference, because I'm usually building about 50 bridges at once lately.
Yeah. And me, I'm just falling into the rabbit holes. It's a warren rather than a hole. But we can deal with those. Just putting up some confirmation from one of the reads that we've done for reading about Grandma. She's so happy that she's here and watching us, and she was a special lady and miss her every minute of the day. And that's as it should be. It's great that you can acknowledge your love for your grandma, and she's around you. So thank you for sharing that.
And the other thing, can I just add to that, Ros, is, honey, she's always going to be living on in your hearts. So she's in your memories, but she's always going to live on through your hearts and your journey as well with that. Okay. I get the feeling it won't be too long, there'll be another child around, or news of another child coming, and things will be much happier. Okay. Yeah. I just get that's one special little girl that child. So, yeah.
And Michaela is asking, will I marry the man I think? It's actually listed here twice. I'm only only answer that one once. I just got a yes, but
yeah, I did too. I got yes, she knows what she wants. So the determination is very much there. Okay. Go for it, girl.
And I don't know whether that's the same. Have we had this one yet or not, Lawrence? This is where I lose track of who we've asked now, because there's been a few.
We did answer a question with Lauren, but that wasn't it.
Right. Okay. Must have been another question that we haven't answered yet or something. We can't answer them all. Sorry, ladies. So, gentlemen's too, if there's blokes in it. Yeah. You can't tell from the names always.
That's it. So just adding to that, Lauren, that was her grandfather wanting to know if her grandfather was around them in their home, sort of thing. And I quite often say to my clients that look at the amount of times you'll be doing things. You could be busy doing housework, dishes, the everyday sort of thing, your job, and you will have a thought of a loved one or a memory of a loved one that has passed over. In that moment, that is their soul with you. You're not sitting there intentionally trying to think about them. That comes in randomly, okay? So I always say, look at what the memory is, look at what the message is in that memory, and that's them letting you know that they're very much with you at that time, okay? So yeah, honey, that's him there with you then, okay?
Yeah, and that's good. And I've got this one here. I don't think we've answered one for Heather yet. Do you have any messages from my nan? I've never met her. She passed away when her mum was 2 years old.
So, okay. Did you want to have a go first, Roz?
All I'm feeling is a deep peace and a love. With the mediumship ones, I tend to need a bit more prep time with clients. I'm finding this is really interesting. For me, I work better with the cards and just sitting and delving. Having to work the background of this, I'm finding it really challenging. So, if you don't mind, as far as the really deep mediumship ones, talking with the dead people, you're so talented, Leanne.
You have to excuse my daughter. I just got distracted by kids running in and out. She obviously left and got halfway somewhere and remembered she's forgotten something and had to come back.
And that's life.
I say I'm going live. They don't seem to quieten down at all, but all good.
Yes. It's the technology's changed from when I was with my little kids, and it was the dial-up phone, and you tell the kids, stay in the corner. I've just got to go and make a phone call. You need to be quiet. And you'd ring, and straight away they come in wanting everything. Technology's just changed.
That's it, exactly. It's funny, isn't it? All right, Heather, yes. Okay. Straight away I get the breathing issue. So I feel like with your grandmother and her passing, there was breathing issues around that side of her. Okay, so very much chest drawn with that. I get a very sweet, loving energy with her, and I feel that she was very good with her hands, because as much as you can't see my hands, I'm waving my hands around while I'm talking with that. So when I say more, probably sitting and knitting, crocheting, cross stitch or something like that. I just feel that she was constantly. I actually feel like I want to mend socks as well. So I don't know if she was into they call it downing socks sort of thing.
Darning socks.
That's it.
Mushroom.
Yep. Because I just get the reference to, I feel like I'm fixing the ends of socks with that. I get she's such a very much a loving soul. She's got a hand on her heart, which is my sign for love and pride for yourself as well. Now, I feel that she's very strong around your children at the same time, okay? So I want to say one child is more intuitive than the others, and I get the reference to that child. I want to say second child picks up on your grandmother being very much around. So I want to say, I always say to people with children, kids are very intuitive up to around the age of 10 to 12, and then they start to shut off in that way. So look at what they talk about it. Ask questions around the stories they tell, because they may remind you of somebody that you love that is passed over with that, okay? I get the beautiful, soft, gentle soul around her, and I feel you're very like her in your ways that you do things as well with that. Now, I get the reference to I need to acknowledge the month of August. Obviously, we're in August. So whether that is more so around a birthday or a celebration around you guys, that's her way of letting you know she's still very much around and sees that side of it. Okay, so can I leave you with her love, please, and know there is a very strong bond for yourself and her, even though, like you said, you didn't get to meet her. Okay, beautiful.
That's wonderful. And I was drawn to this one. is Lorraine, as in your sister, is she now at peace and happy about how you dealt with her belongings and her things? I presume you're referring to her funeral or her celebration of her life. That's how I prefer to call them, funerals. Yeah. So down, and really, we're just it's an avenue of saying goodbye and celebrating their life. So I'm feeling, yeah, she is quite happy about it. What I'm actually seeing, though, is a book as far as the belongings go, because things in and of themselves, I'm feeling, weren't as important to her, really, as you might have thought. But there's something to do with books that I'm feeling was more special, and probably just the knowledge that they pass on. Whether there was a special book, I'm feeling there's one that was really treasured, and she's happy with where that has gone. So that's what I'm getting. Yeah.
I don't know if she scrapbooked or tried to sort of scrapbook. These headphones are driving me nuts today. You know what it is? My husband's energy is on him, because when we went to Victoria on the weekend, he used them. And I don't like people using my headphones. Right. Me being paranoid. I feel like I've got photos with writing when Ros was talking about the books in that side of it. So to me, whether it's not what I know as scrapbooking, but it's a feeling of having photos with information written in, the journaling, the history being recorded in that side of it. I do, with her energy, get very much an achy body. Okay, so saying that, I feel she had pain throughout her body, but I also get very much in my own head with that at the same time. I want to say there were the ups and the downs, so emotionally and mentally with that. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was small, like, levels of depression there at times with that, but I do find that she found peace very quickly, and that she's very content with what has gone on with her belongings. Okay, I want to say you need to find the peace in the situation as well, because that's what she wants for her family. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense to you. Beautiful.
Right. And an interesting question: when you read and spirit comes through, do you see them as we see them when they were here? For me, no, it's not always that case. Most times what I see is, and I'm not so much in that mediumship area of seeing dead people, there's times where spirits or souls will sort of flit past as a peripheral vision, and other times where they might be sitting on the bed or in a chair or something, and I can sort of see outline rather than just defined as if they were sitting there in, like I am now. So what's your experience there, Leanne?
I just want to say hello to Carlia. She was a beautiful lady that travelled about 2 hours to see me on Sunday in Ballarat. So, hey, honey, it's lovely to see you on with us as well. And it was my pleasure to read for you. And I think that's a wonderful question as well, because not everybody understands how we see stuff, and different people, we all see things differently and have our strengths in different places, is probably the way to put it. For me, I will sometimes get a quick glimpse of what they looked like. Other times it's a haze or a shadow outline. And in my thoughts, I get male, female, my hair looked like this, woman, small build, big build, or whatever like that. So it can vary at times, but mainly a lot of it is a picture in my mind or my thought process with that as well. Now, honey, I know you did send me a message on the phone about Malia, and I do get that very much around you with that, and I get a very loving, bouncy animal energy with that side of it. So very much there. Okay. So thank you for your lovely question. I hope that gives you a clearer idea of how it works.
Yeah. Yes. I'm sometimes amazed by the different ways that some things will show up as well. Like it's not always the same of what I'm actually used to. And at times it's later on that I actually realise, oh, that was what they were trying to tell me with that. That was someone, you know, and you're not always conscious of it, even as readers or sensitives. And everybody has that skill. You're just not aware of it. I like to remind people everybody has the ability to be open to receiving what little messages and things come forward. So, yeah. And the same as we've, you know, change being the topic that I sort of picked as we came on because things were changing here. Jay. Yeah, so will your current situation change for the better? Well, there's going to be change because that's inevitable. Yeah, for the better. Look, it as far as the only person that can really know that it's better is you, whether it's better than what you're currently going through. And all I got was yes and a but. So Leanne can probably do a bit better job on that one.
Okay. Hi, Jay. Yes, I do get changes coming in. Now, look at what's going on in front of you at the moment because I feel like you're missing the signs. As Ros put your comment up, I don't know if you noticed, I had to keep playing with my nose. Spirit was tickling my nose. So I get spirits trying to get your attention around the situation that you're in the moment. You need to take note and you need to listen. Okay. So I always say when spirit does those things, trust what you feel, you think, you see, you hear, you know. Okay. Because they are trying to communicate with you, and that's the way they basically communicate with us. Okay. I also get the reference to you're ready for change, but you've got to let go of that past energy at the same time. So let go, acknowledge what you've been through, look at the lessons in that, let it go, and focus on what you're wanting to move forward, and that change will come in. Okay. You've got the power of the mind, the power and the mindset to do it. So it's just giving yourself permission to step forward at times. And this goes for everybody. There's times that we need to stand still. There's times that things come up to test us, but it's also to move a lot of the old, what I call crap or the past stuff, to let go or push us to let go to move forward. Okay, so when you choose to, yes, change will come. Okay. Sometimes we've got to give ourselves permission to move forward and be happy as well. But yeah, good luck with that, Jay. Okay.
Yes, and thank you for your question. Now, as I'm scrolling through a lot of these questions now, yes, they have mounted up, and it does take time to answer the question. So there's no way that every one of them is going to be answered in this space of time, because we're 2 minutes from what our session is. So thank you for those who've posted the questions. I'll go back and, afterwards, I tend to go back and try to answer some that I might have snippets with. It just depends. So don't be disappointed as far as not having answers to your questions today. What I would suggest is just to go into a bit of deep breathing space-time as far as a Zen space or whatever you're comfortable with, and ask the inner questions with that peace of mind of deep breathing and concentrating on the intention of finding out your answers. Leanne, do you have any other suggestions for people, for themselves, that in the meantime, if to actually get a bit of information for themselves?
I think it is, I think clearing the mind and grounding your energy and breathing is the biggest thing, because life does block that energy sort of thing. So if you can find time to still your mind, you will get change that will come with that. You'll get the clearer answers. And sometimes that is just taking that step back out of the hectic to be able to see the bigger picture. So, Ros, I'm not sure why, but Spirit's drawing me to the fact that we need to pull a card for people for today in general, if you'd like to do that and give some information. Put you on the spot there, sorry.
That's okay. Just do one very quick shuffle on the top card. Yep. Right, so what's been pulled is authority, and I'm not quite sure how to stop the glare on that. I'll work on finding out that back.
That's better. Yep, that's better.
Oh, and then too. I'll work on finding out how to do this with a second camera to bring in as a third person, so to speak. I know it's possible. With this, as far as with your day goes, the things that you're actually wanting to do, it's standing in your own strength. It's the authority. Give yourself authority to actually do what you love doing, to actually complete things, to actually plan things, and to spend the time with yourself in manifesting what you want, to have that space, as we just said before, of have that time and space with yourself to be able to know and sense the answers for yourself first. Look, I know there's times where you don't always have that for yourself because the monkey mind and all the rest, but it is possible just to take the deep breaths and say to yourself, I give myself permission to be whatever I want to create whatever I need. That was a little better.
There we go. Yeah.
A bit of the distance. So, I mean, it's in your power. It's actually you allowing yourself and giving yourself your own authority. It's not up to anybody else to give you authority. You don't need to be asking permission of anyone else. It's your life and you are in control, and you give yourself the authority to do it how you need to for your and the greater good, but it's your part in that greater good that you're discerning. So that's what that card is indicating for today.
To me, that card also screams stand in your own power, and you mentioned the power. So I think I'm not big on cards, but yeah, own your own power. There's a real strong structure, powerful feeling to that.
Yeah, so it's certainly got the pillars of strength behind. So, yeah, and a determination. You know, if something's not quite working for you, be determined and work through.
Yes. And I think at the moment, if we've got that goes a long way.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, it adds to our focus as well. So,
yeah,
being able to do that. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Excellent. All right, I think we're out of time again.
And for the next week, it will be still the 10:30 in whatever way works at the time. Hopefully the BeLive platform will be working at the time wonderfully. And that's the intention. And that by then I shall have the 1, 2, 3 tick off list sorted so that I'm posting in the right places, and that everybody can share to wherever they feel a need is being held by their friends, family, or, wherever it needs to go. And we trust that Spirit does send forward whatever is needed to the right people at the right time.
For sure. Excellent. Yeah. And you can also find me on tomorrow night at 8:30. Tomorrow's Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yes. So look forward to seeing everybody again, and ask your friends and others along as well. Thank you.
Yeah.
So
beautiful. All right. Thanks, Roz. Yep. See you next week.
Everybody.
Bye. Oh, these earphones are driving me nuts.